Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of Screen Facts with Jason Davis. Each episode, we're going to talk about a movie we like. We'll share some fun trivia during the conversation, and you can like us at facebook.com/screenfacts and post your comments or questions. You can also email screenfacts@yahoo.com or tweet at Jason Davis Voice. This podcast is a production of Jason Davis Voiceover. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com for information about voiceover services for commercials, internet and corporate videos, e-learning, phone messages, and more. Well, joining me for the podcast today, my good pal, Erik Reitz.
Hello, Jason. How are you?
Hello, sir.
So happy to be here.
Yeah. It's always fun to get together and talk about a good movie, right?
Absolutely.
Today we're going to talk about Shaun of the Dead, which is a great comedy horror flick.
Yeah, it's like a com-zom-sci thing.
Yeah.
But it was so much more than just like a stupid comedy with just like fart jokes with zombies, which there were some fart jokes, which is great. And, you know, I'm not above a decent fart joke.
All right, fart jokes are great.
But there's so much more to it. I mean, there's a real heart to it where, you know, the main character is this guy who's just not really maturing. And it takes like the zombie apocalypse to actually make him kind of grow up a little bit.
Yeah, and he's very relatable because either we've been him, I know I have, or we've known somebody like him.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then his friend Ed that just like hangs out and does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the characters are all really well done. Like they're all really well written for the movie. The stars, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, have collaborated on a bunch of things. And everything they've done together is really awesome. Great chemistry between them. And, you know, you could tell that they have been friends for a long time.
Yeah, they actually lived together for a while.
Exactly.
You know, so that's pretty cool because then, you know, in the movie they're living together. Although, well, the character Ed is really just kind of crashing on the couch because
pretty much,
he's a total loser.
Yeah.
He's funny, but he's quite a loser.
But he's a lovable loser.
Yeah.
You know, he's the kind of, you understand why Shaun keeps him around because he's fun, he's funny.
Right.
And he's a good friend, you know?
Yeah. And he does make him feel good because, you know, Shaun, he had a breakup with the girlfriend. You know, he's just like shell-shocked about it. Ed's real good about taking him out to the Winchester, which is, you know, the bar they go to.
Right. The pub.
The pub, yes, the pub. Excuse me, this is British,
That's
so
right.
I have to remember.
That's right.
Yeah, the Winchester actually was a real pub, but it has since become an apartment building.
Okay.
Or flats.
Right.
As they would say across the pond. Well, talking about how the movie had some heart to it, but it was also a good zombie movie. I mean, there was some really good makeup, but there was some really funny stuff too. Like early on when they're fighting like the first zombie, who's Bloody Mary.
Right. They had like a laundry basket or something filled with like kitchen items.
Right.
And they're throwing those things at the
and
zombies.
Pillows. And, it's like,
and then that wasn't working. So then, they started getting some of Shaun's records from when he was a DJ.
And of course, as they're going through the records, you know. It's
Purple
like,
Rain, not Purple Rain.
No. Oh, Batman soundtrack? Oh, yeah, throw that.
Fuck that. Yeah, so it was really funny. And then they went into the shed and he got the cricket bat. And
that's right.
Yeah.
And the cricket bat was like the only weapon that was actually a prop.
Right. It was
pretty
like
much
foam.
Right.
So you could hit the extras with it.
Yeah, everybody else. Like if you look in the scene where they go to the apartment building to get his girlfriend and her friend and that loser douchebag scumbag. But I mean, what a puss that guy was. Oh,
David, I think his name was.
Yeah. Oh, he was horrible.
Yeah, he's the most unlikable character in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, you love
he makes the zombies likable.
Yeah. And well, you know, and when he met his demise, there was so many, I'll say, paying homage to other zombie movies.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of nods to classic zombie movies and stuff, which I love about this movie. You can tell these guys are fans, the guys that wrote it. So let me, really quick. So directed by Edgar Wright, written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright.
Right.
Estimated budget of $5.3 million, and the film was shot over 9 weeks between May and July of 2003.
Okay.
The non-featured zombie extras were paid £1 a day for their troubles.
Right.
Which is next to nothing. Again, a homage to George A. Romero, who's pretty much the godfather of all the zombie movies and stuff. He paid his zombie extras $1 for Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. Domestic gross $13.5 million, $16.5 million worldwide, $30 million. So actually made money. But again, this is not the kind of movie that that they probably expected to be this big blockbuster because of the low budget and not a lot of big stars and the way it was filmed and stuff. But
no CGI. I mean, it's something you and I could have made.
Well, I don't know about that, but
wow.
But George A. Romero, he was so impressed with the way Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright wrote and executed the movie that he asked them to cameo in 2005's Land of the Dead as zombies.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool that they kind of got the thumbs up and the welcome to the family sort of thing from George A. Romero.
And it's really funny. The scene that they do for Romero is they're zombies and they're like chained up, and rich people come by and it's a photo op. It's
that's
rich
hilarious.
people just stand in front of them. It's like greetings
Like for selfies and shit.
greetings from the zombie apocalypse.
That's excellent. And by the way, Quentin Tarantino, who is a fantastic filmmaker in his own right, I don't know how many zombie kind of things he's done, but he's definitely a guy that has delved into the horror genre in one way or another.
Absolutely.
He's a big fan of the movie. He says it's one of the top 20 films made since 1992.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we both like when somebody making a movie has skin in the game. And Wright basically went broke waiting for this movie to be made. Because, after he and Pegg wrote it, Film 4 Productions was all behind it. But then they started to cut back the budget. So basically, they left Shaun of the Dead without a production company for a while. So, Wright was still hoping, and he was out there pounding the pavement, borrowing money. He wasn't taking on other directing jobs.
And that's tough.
That is tough. And finally, they were able to get the funds and do the movie. And even at this point, apparently Wright borrowed a lot of money from Simon Pegg.
Okay.
And Simon's like, don't worry about paying me back.
Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, Simon Pegg has gone on to some pretty good success, in the movies. He's done a lot of things. He was in the new Star Trek movies as Scotty and stuff. So, he's done a lot of work. So he's probably okay. So he's not really worried about, his friend and the guy that pretty much helped him start his career.
Right.
Paying him back whatever he owes him.
I thought one of the cool things was where they got all their extras.
Yeah.
They have this show called Spaced.
Right.
And it was short-lived.
It was a British show, yeah.
And
a couple of seasons.
Right. And they just put out a casting call, and fans of the show just showed up, and they ended up using 200 of these just fans to be zombies.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Think about that. That'd be like if you were a big fan of The Walking Dead, having an opportunity to be on one of their shows.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I like when zombies walk slowly. I mean, to me that makes sense. World War Z, the zombies are super fast and crazy, and that's a whole different thing.
I agree. That's been done in a couple of things. World War Z and 28 Days Later.
Right.
I feel like it makes more sense for zombies to be slow-moving because they're reanimated corpses.
Right.
There's no brain function.
Right.
If this was real life. I know I sound like an idiot. I'm talking like this is real, right?
Well, I think it's worth investigating.
What, that I'm an idiot?
No. Because
that's very apparent that I'm an idiot. We don't need to investigate that.
No,
we know I'm a fucking idiot.
We spend a lot of time thinking about zombies. We're big Walking Dead fans.
Right.
And so the speed of zombies is crucial, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. If the zombie apocalypse happened, where would you go? I would head north.
North.
I would go where it's cold.
Okay.
Because zombies, they're going to freeze. And they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to.
They're not going to have the wherewithal to go someplace warm and ride it out or whatever.
Right.
Well, that's an interesting thing. That's a good point, actually.
And to make it perfect, there would have to be like a Sam's Club or a Best Buy way up there, way up north.
Because for your supplies,
for my supplies, because that's where all the food is.
I like that.
Can
I be on Team Reitz when the zombie apocalypse hits?
Sure.
All right, cool.
That's what Kathy and I. We grab the dog, we grab Ben. We might head to Rochester if Max. But Max, he'll figure something out.
Yeah, well, he can meet you somewhere too.
Probably.
Yeah.
So we would definitely head way north Canada.
Okay.
And
now that weed is legal there,
even better.
Like it matters in the zombie apocalypse, right?
Yeah. There's some other a little more pressing issues.
Yeah, you don't want to get zombies high because then they're going to have the munchies. They're going to want to eat even more brains.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's good point.
See?
It's very important. Some other interesting stuff about homage. Did you notice that the supermarket was called the Landis Supermarket? Mm-hmm. That's a nod to John Landis, who's known for American Werewolf in London and, of course, the Blues Brothers.
And Michael Jackson's Thriller video, which has a very zombie-esque feel to it.
Absolutely. I really liked how the movie made the zombie apocalypse happen. Like, they did it in little bits.
Right.
Because they were basically just kind of couch potatoes for the most part, sitting around.
Right.
And they're flipping through the channels.
Yeah.
And at one point, the stations, they would only leave a station on for 1 or 2 seconds.
Right.
But if you followed what they were
the
saying,
sentences actually made sense. In,
right.
Like all of the different newscasters talking about the zombie apocalypse.
It all ended up saying something
Very
like,
cool.
there's unknown creatures out there eating human beings.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God,
the only thing, actually, even before that, like, I think it's really cool how the film opens and the credits and everything where people are not actual zombies.
Right.
Or Walking Dead or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, you can't say zombies.
You can't say zombies.
That's not cool.
Right. But they all just are kind of going through their daily mundane lives on the bus or walking or whatever, and they show them. Yeah. And they have like all these little teasers. Like, you know, Shaun comes in when he wakes up.
Right.
He's like,
right. And he's dragging his feet.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they pan up to his face and he's just yawning.
Waking up.
Yeah.
And then
it's all very cleverly done.
And in the first morning, when there's just the very hint of it, like he's on the bus and you see, I think it was outside the bus window.
Yeah.
Or
he's at work.
Something. Yeah. And there's like this
There's like
guy.
a bum. There's like a bum in the park and he like scoops up a pigeon.
And he eats a pigeon.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, that's kind of foreboding.
It's a little weird. Yeah, but he's not sure. He's not even sure if that's what he saw. Like, because like a bus goes by.
And the bus goes by and the thing's gone.
But yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, and you're not going to start thinking right away that everyone's, you know, turning into zombies. And people coughing or whatever.
Yeah. But even when you know it's official and there's man-eating killers walking the street, when he leaves to go to the shop to get like a Coke,
right? Yeah,
he's walking through the street and he's completely oblivious, and he's not even looking at a phone. He's just so oblivious. He's like so wrapped up in like, you know,
losing the girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's walking down, and that was so great that the zombies are walking slowly,
right?
Because they're like near him,
right?
And he just keeps walking. He goes in the store. He opens the door to the fridge.
There's bloody handprints
on it.
Yep.
And I love the detail that when he closes the door and starts walking to the cash register, he slips.
He slips on what's probably blood on the floor.
Like, what the hell is that?
Exactly.
And then when he goes to pay, the guy's not there, so he just leaves the money. But as he's walking out, you could see the store owner.
Yeah, in the background.
Yep. Now, apparently, what was being said in Hindi over the TV was actually saying people are rising from their graves.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, and there's a lot of little Easter eggs like that to look for. Another one is the name of the electronics store that he works for is Foree Electric.
Right.
And Ken Foree is one of the stars of the original Dawn of the Dead in 1978 and has a cameo in the 2004 remake as well.
Right. When you're talking about like zombies not running, apparently Simon Pegg said that, well, because death is not an energy drink.
Right.
It's so true.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that.
I get like wanting to do a different spin on zombie movies, like 28 Days Later and, you know, and Zombieland did by making them fast, but it just makes more sense for them to not move fast.
And
like it's because you got to remember, in theory, dead rising from the grave, they're coming out, there's no motor skills, it's literally just instinct.
Right.
I need to feed, and what I want to feed on is human flesh. Why would they remember how to run and stuff?
Well, and here's the other
Running
thing.
is not like an instinctual thing, unless like you're being chased.
Right.
But nobody's chasing zombies.
No. Well, and here's the other thing. Muscle atrophy. Hello?
Yes.
Like I had
or rigor
a
mortis
cast on my arm, and after 6 weeks, it took the cast off, and I could barely move my hand. You can't tell me that somebody's who's been laying dead is now going to be able to get up and run at full speed.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
No.
But neither do zombies. So there you have it.
There's a possibility for zombies.
You think that there could actually legitimately be a zombie apocalypse?
Yes, absolutely. When you look at
I got to hear your theory on this.
Up in the sky right now.
Here we go.
I've told you this theory, right?
When the vapor trails,
the vapor trails in the sky.
You think that that's zombie creating gas or whatever?
No, but I'm saying something like that could be.
Okay.
Anybody can say, well, what on earth could be? How can there be a worldwide something? It's like right there.
Oh, yeah. But why would anybody create... Well, I guess it would be an accident.
It would be an accident.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that on purpose.
Yeah, why would you want to make the dead rise?
Yeah, that'd be kind of a bad afterthought.
Yeah, unless there's like an elitist group that wants to eliminate the entire human race except for them, so they like, you know, kind of reboot the human race.
Oh, there's a storyline.
There you go.
All right, let's write that down.
Stephen King, I want credit when you write that.
No, let's do that ourselves.
Because Stephen King's listening to this podcast right now.
Oh, you never know. You never know.
What a fucking idiot I am.
Oh, speaking of the word fuck.
Yeah.
77 times it was said in this movie.
That's pretty good for an hour-and-a-half movie.
Yeah. And I like when it was like a fuckity dickily doolittle type thing that I think Pete said that.
It's used well, though. It's not like gratuitous. It's definitely used in a good way.
Right. It's not like Bad Santa.
Right.
Which was just
which
F-bomb after F-bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like their major adjective.
Yeah, or the South Park movie or Scarface.
Talking about Simon Pegg and his acting, I was like, wow, I'm actually pretty impressed with his acting because when his mom dies in the Winchester, Simon said that he was crying for real.
Oh, yeah.
He was
imagining his actual mom, right?
Mom.
Yeah, I remember
like,
the first time
cow.
I saw this movie thinking, wow, that is a very powerful scene.
Yeah.
And who can't relate to that, you know? And it's just terrible.
Shaun had a real problem with his stepfather.
Right.
You know, and we find out that, you know, his dad died when he was 12 and this new guy comes in and there was obviously they were not happy with each other. Well, I thought it was so sweet in the car. They're all jammed in the car.
Right. And he's like got the big bite on his neck.
Right. And he's starting to turn, he's dying. And he basically says to Shaun that, being a father was hard. You know, you were 12 years old. You were already grown. You were already grown already. I didn't know, I thought, the best thing I could do was just to try to be, the type of man that, you could emulate or look up to. And
that was a really sweet scene.
That was a great scene.
In the midst of like total chaos going on.
Yeah, they're surrounded by Z's.
Right.
Pounding at the car.
Right.
Now, I thought it was dumb that they all abandoned the car. They should have just kicked Philip out and kept the car.
But that was really a funny thing in the movie though, because the music is blasting and he's saying to his mother, "Oh, that's not Philip. That's not your husband. Nothing about him is your husband."
Right,
and then he leans over and he turns off the loud music because he hated the loud music.
That
was fantastic.
That was brilliant.
That actor that plays his stepdad is fantastic. I think his name is
real familiar.
Bill Nighy, I think is how you say it. He's been in a couple of things. Most notably, he was in one or two or maybe more of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. But I loved him. If you've ever seen Love Actually.
Yeah.
He's the old British musician guy that does the song and it becomes a big hit and he does the naked video.
Right.
He's fantastic in that movie.
No, he's
really good. He's a great actor.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It was also good that the zombies moved really slowly.
Yes.
Because there were many times in this movie where they're like about to be pounced on and then they take like 2-3 minutes to argue amongst themselves. Like when they were trying to break into the Winchester.
Right.
First
and
they had all these zombies and now all of a sudden they can fight for like 2 minutes and then they stop and they're like, wait a minute. And they realize, oh, there's zombies.
Yeah.
And they stop and look and there's like all the zombies in the street just staring at them. I thought that was funny because that kind of nods to, all right, we know we're a little off with the timing, so here it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, tongue definitely in cheek in a lot of moments in the movie.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool that they used a Winchester rifle in the Winchester, which is actually the same type of rifle that was used in the film Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they used a Winchester.
Talking about Shaun's mother really quick, she calls him Pickle, is his nickname.
Right.
That was actually director Edgar Wright's mother called him that as a kid. Too. So that's where they got that from. I feel like the characters that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost play in the movie are probably very close to themselves to some degree.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, there's all kinds of nods to like the life that they had as friends and roommates.
Sure.
Like, they talk about going to do the quiz.
Right.
They hung out and did trivia nights together. Obviously, the characters are very simple in the movie.
Yeah.
And you hope that their lives were a little bit more fulfilled than that. And I don't mean that judgmentally. I just mean that, they didn't have great lives, these characters.
Right. Well,
they're kind of like run of the mill or whatever.
Like Shaun, I mean, he's 29 years old in this movie, and he's really at a dead end. And you can see why, Elizabeth breaks up with him. I thought it was really funny where we see him at work, and he's like, I don't know, a junior manager at this electronics shop.
Yeah.
And you got all these teenager boys working there, and he's trying to, kind of say, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do for the day.
And they're just ignoring him.
They totally ignore him. And, one guy is giving him crap, and he's like, look, I have dreams of my own. I'm not going to be here my whole life. Something like that. Yeah. And the kid's like,
dude, you're 29. What the hell are you doing here?
Exactly. Yeah. Why are you here? If you have more plan for your life, what are you waiting for? You're almost 30.
You can kind of have empathy for Shaun too, because you look at like the village or the town or whatever that they live in,
right?
And it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on there.
Probably not.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it's like a small town,
right?
Not a lot of industry or whatever.
But there's nothing wrong with, I don't think, having a life where it's small, in that you go to the same pub. So what? You've got a lot of close friends or whatever. Right. That's fine. And you work at, this little electronics store. Okay. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be stunted and not, move your relationship along with a woman you supposedly love.
Right.
I don't think they were trying to say that he was leading a little life, and so that's why he wasn't moving on. Because, Liz was saying, look, we can go out, we can do things. There's
other things besides the Winchester.
Right.
I mean, that's probably like a typical thing for a lot of relationships at that age, even in America. Guys are idiots, dude. Most of the time.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, guys don't know what the hell they're doing with their lives. I don't just mean with their career. I mean, guys are real content being kind of blasé about a lot of things.
Yeah, well,
women are usually the ones that want to do stuff and be motivated and live life or whatever.
Right.
And
ignorance
I think
is bliss.
Yeah,
just kind of float along.
That's why my theory of you want world peace, let women run the world holds true, because I think women can get shit done.
I think it'd be a better world if it was all run by women.
I'd like to see women have a chance.
Yeah.
And not just women, feminists. Strong women that support other women with strength.
Right. Just by virtue of what we're talking about shows this movie is so much more than just a comedy zombie. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know how the heck we got onto feminism from Shaun of the Dead, but
I don't know.
It got there, I think, because there was a couple strong female characters. I mean, his girlfriend, she wanted something more from her life, and she actually took the step and broke up with him, which is, that could be a pretty powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I mean, it really put him down. I thought it was really cool when, so early in the movie, Ed is trying to cheer Shaun up, and of course they're at the Winchester.
Yep.
And you know what I'm going to bring up, like where they foreshadow.
Yes, he basically sums up the entire movie.
Yes.
Talking about all the different drinks and things they're going to do.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, and because when you're watching
run through it. Go ahead, run through it.
So he says, all right, first we're going to have a Bloody Mary,
which is the checkout girl
that
they kill in the backyard.
Mary that they had to kill, right? And then said, then we'll have a bite at the king's head,
which is Philip, his stepdad.
Right.
The next thing actually I have is a couple, David and Di, a reference to David and Di, Liz's roommates.
Right.
Little Princess is Liz.
And then back here for shots.
And Stagger Back, impersonate zombies.
Back. That's right.
And then Bar for Shots, which is a reference to when they fire the rifle in the bar.
Did you agree with Shaun's idea of going back to the pub as the place to like hunker down?
I never really gave it much thought. Obviously opens up a whole world of funny for certain scenes in the movie. Like, let's talk about the great use of music in this movie, specifically Queen's Don't Stop Me Now.
Don't Stop Me.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's fantastic when they're beating the owner of the place who's a zombie to the beat of the song. It's excellent.
They were talking about a sequel.
I'm glad they didn't, though.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I loved watching it. I actually had never seen it all the way through before, and then just last night Kathy was like, you gotta watch this. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we watched it last night. It was neat. It makes me want to go and like look up the TV show that they did.
The other movies that they've done together too,
like Hot Fuzz
is good. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost did a movie together where they're the two stars. And Seth Rogen is the voice of the alien. It's a movie called Paul. Very funny.
I never saw that.
They play a couple of like nerdy guys who are really into science fiction, and they go to like a Comic-Con, and they end up coming across an actual alien during the trip. They're like traveling across country and stuff, and it's just really funny. And Seth Rogen as the alien's fantastic, as the voice of the alien.
All right,
it's a CGI alien, and it's just really well done. Kristen Wiig is in it too.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, she's always good. What else was cool?
One of the other things, you've got red on you.
Yeah.
Because he kept having
with
like
the pen leaked and stuff.
Right. And then it changed from the pen leaking to obviously blood from bludgeoning.
Well, red was a big theme too.
Like
before all hell broke loose in the movie with all the zombies,
Yeah.
red was everywhere. Like, the red from the pen ink
Right.
in his shirt. The bus had a lot of red in it. There was red in the background everywhere at work and this and that.
Yeah.
The color of the name badge that he wears for the electronics store is red.
That was red.
So it's like, red is a big thing in the Sixth Sense too.
Sense.
Yeah, so, I mean, not that these movies have anything to do with one another, but sometimes they do that where they choose something that's very visual. Why are you barking? You want to get involved in this podcast too?
Is Timmy down the well? Oh,
okay.
We love you too. This was not for me a roll on the floor.
No, I don't think it's meant to be
loud.
though.
And I agree. It's not meant to be like that. It's got some great wit and
I think it's the same. Zombieland is the same thing. I don't think Zombieland is meant to be, let's howl in the aisles with laughter.
Right.
But there's a lot of funny stuff in Zombieland.
Right. Just silly little stuff like, after they kill a zombie, it's like, you want some Purell for your hand?
Exactly.
Crap like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, Zombieland had a whole bunch of other great stuff.
Well,
I'm empty.
Yep, that's Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's Erik Reitz.
And that's Jason Davis over there.
And Screen Facts with Jason Davis is a production of Jason Davis VoiceOver. Hey, that's me. Please visit jasondavisvoice.com if you need a voice for a commercial, internet and corporate video, e-learning, phone message, and more. Remember, we want to know what you think, too. If you have any comments, any questions, any favorite scenes, or anything you want to talk about when it comes to this movie or any of the other movies that we talk about on the podcast, go to our Facebook page. You can leave your comments or questions. Facebook.com/ScreenFacts. Again, email screenfacts@yahoo.com or tweet @JasonDavisVoice. Thanks for listening to the Screen Facts with Jason Davis podcast. We'll see you.
Don't say zombies.